What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. In today's video, we are slapping around the Great League remix with the Banana Beak. Tropius is an absolutely just game-breaking pick right now in the Great League remix. Absolutely nobody is respecting this Pokemon. It is sweeping teams, and what we're going to be using in the strategy for this team is to be using Togetic on the safe switch. We're going to use that to pull out the Toxapex, the Fire types, the Tinkatons, and what will we have in the lead? We're going to round out this team with Chungus, the Diggersby. You could use Claydol if you want. You don't have an XL Diggersby. Totally understandable. Not everybody does. Claydol would be a good second option here, but I don't really have any solid replacements for Tropius or Togetic. The best I can do is maybe a Molga. So if you have these three, this team absolutely slapped the Remix Cup for me today. And let's go ahead and get into these games and kind of show off the gameplay here, because I think that this team is going to be really, really good this week. We got an Araquanid in the first game here, and I am not happy to see this, so I'm going to swap to my Togetic as I have two flying types in the back. An opponent brings in Runerigus, and I forgot for a moment that it has Rock Tomb. And so I should have thrown the Psyshock thinking, you know, they're going to go for the Rock Tomb and they're going to shield the first move, yada yada. But so far, they're super weak to Tropius. So it's going to come down to what's in the back. If Tropius can sweep, that's kind of where I'm at with this right now. And I'm also trying to see if I get to two Psyshocks or one Dazzling Gleam and just fire off whichever one. I'm going to opt for two Psyshocks here and go for as many Fairy Winds as I can before getting farmed down. The opponent has absolutely no way to throw this energy into my Diggersby, and so I can safely absorb it, but they actually bring in Umbreon, and they do have energy on the Runerigus, which is going to be something I have to keep in mind for later. But I have Diggersby now exactly where I want it. I'm going to put it on this Umbreon. I'm going to let Tropius try to sweep up a shield because the opponent does have the Rock Tombs loaded, but Tropius still is going to do fine against that Araquanid. So that's kind of my game plan right now. See how it unfolds. That doesn't, no, unfolds. We're going to be prioritizing timing going on 1, 4, or 7, as that's what the timing is for these 2-turn moves like Quick Attack into a move like Snarl, which is a 3-turn move. It's going to get you the most efficient timing of your moves. And I think I might do a fast move timing video. I'm trying to make sure that I get the production right and make sure that, you know, when I do it, it helps people more than it makes them confused. But Scorching Sands is going to nearly knock out. Opponent actually switches into the Runerigus. And I'm pretty sure that was not a reactionary swap. That was we both just swapped at the same time. So now I'm going to just try to farm down with Tropius, but they have enough for 2 Rock Tombs. And now I'm like, all right, if I'm going to shield anything, it has to be this. Right, the best thing that Araquanid can do to me is hit me with a Bug Buzz. I'm going to fully farm down here and look to throw energy into the Araquanid, but the opponent comes back in with the Umbreon, perhaps expecting me to throw right away, but now that basically locks me in. They can't swap out to make any catches, which is what they should have done, was just come back in with the Araquanid instead of just sacking the Umbreon like that. But that now allows me to have my switch timer come up, so I can now go back into my Diggersby and just start throwing some Fire Punches. The opponent can farm us down if they so choose, but by the time that they do, they're going to be well within Leaf Blade range unless they shield one of these Fire Punches, and we have nearly 2 Leaf Blades loaded. So Tropius also is very bulky. It can absolutely handle a Bug Buzz from this range. It doesn't do a ton of damage. It'll do a significant amount, but not enough that I need to worry. It's like maybe 35-40% at the most, but we're going to get to 2 Leaf Blades here. Opponent's never going to have 2 Bug Buzzes, especially not with an Araquanid on Bug Bite, and we're going to be able to take this first game, and it actually almost goes to timeout. I just played these games not too long ago, so they're fresh in my mind for once. But 12 seconds left, and we take the victory. Good game. Next game, Diggersby against Furret. Not the greatest lead, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to catch the Trailblaze on Togetic, because that is when most people are going to throw is right on 7, trying to CMP, get that Trailblaze in. I'm going to absorb the energy on Togetic and save the energy I have on my Diggersby. And there's the opponent's Tinkaton. So, I played a very similar team in the Great League. I'm going to release it on Friday. It was the team that I got some of my Elo back, and I think it's a great climbing team in the Open Great League. It's going to be this, basically, I think, I know what the team is in retrospect, but this is a team that I used to climb in the Open Great League. Furret, Tinkaton, there's going to be a Claydol in the back. Spoiler alert. What are you going to do, right? But because I don't know this yet, I'm just hoping that I can do something with my Tropius. Now, I make a mistake here. I should have just thrown the Fire Punch. They're definitely within range of it. And the opponent shields to save their energy, and I should have gone for the Fire Punch. I Don't know, man. I don't know. I was trying to snipe him down. The opponent's going to come back in with that Furret, and I'm thinking to myself, I got a 2-shield Tropius in the back, and if they do for some reason have Claydol, because Claydol and Furret are very commonly cored together in the Great League, and so I'm thinking, all right, I've got Tropius with 2 shields. Surely everything here will be fine. Opponent is going to be no shielding that move. I'm going to try to get to the Fire Punch, but unfortunately, I get farmed down, and that kind of puts me in an awkward spot because the opponent is now going to be able to fire off boosted Swifts, and if I want to farm this down, I'm going to have to put up both shields. I don't know what's in the back, and unfortunately, that is actually going to end up being my undoing here. Now, I'm going to make a nice catch here. I will say, this is a nice catch. This was exactly what I needed. I did the wait 1 turn. The opponent now comes back in with the Tinkaton, and they had some energy already on the Tinkaton, and I shield this. And again, at this point, I still don't know there's a Claydol in the back. Claydol has Ice Beam. This is where I lose the game, was by giving them this shield right here. If I don't give them this shield, I might win this game. But now the opponent can come in with their Claydol up a shield, and unfortunately, that's just going to be it because I don't have a way to catch. They can just go ahead and shield the first one. I'm only getting to 2 Leaf Blades here, and I need 2 to get the KO, and that's okay. But you know what? Sometimes there's nothing you do about it, man. Sometimes you just make the best plays in the moment, and it just happens to be something in the back that you can't win against, and so be it. Opponent takes us out with the Ice Beam. Well played to them. Good game. Next game, though, Diggersby looking for some redemption, and we get a Carbink lead, and I am just singing my praises to my Diggersby right now. My goodness, what a lead. Opponent safe swaps in for it. Whenever they do, what I will do is I will go for a Scorching Sands and then swap to Togetic, and the reason why is because I can do some chip. This guarantees that I'm keeping switch advantage without taking too much HP off my Diggersby. I only take enough of the, I only take the damage from those Sucker Punches, and they never get the Trailblaze in because of that 1 turn delay when they swap. I can easily just tank 2 charge moves here and then throw this Psyshock to keep them from getting to a 3rd Swift, and then the Carbink can farm me down. Okay, fine. It's still locked against my Diggersby, and the energy is not going to matter at this point. I will be able to get, excuse me, to either 2 Psyshocks or 1 Gleam. I'm just going to go for the 2 Psyshocks. I'm pretty sure this does more damage than 1 Gleam, but y'all can tell me in the comments if I'm right or wrong. I'm pretty sure 2 Psyshocks doing more than 1 Dazzling Gleam, but again, enlighten me, please. But in comes Diggersby, opponent staying in. They want to get punished by this Scorching Sands, and they are not going to be able to get to the move. I think they're trying to reach for the Moonblast. Maybe they're getting close to one. Doesn't matter to me. Scorching Sands going to do a good chunk of damage, and the opponent has a Dust Noir in the back. And actually, I'm quite happy to see this, and the reason why is because even though, like, Tropius doesn't exactly do superb into this thing, I can still do very well in general just by the fact that Tropius has bulk. Diggersby resists the fast moves here, and it's going to force them to throw Dynamic Punch. I can just go into my Tropius here, and now that I've seen how much damage a non-shadow Shadow Punch will do, I'll let the second one go as well, and I'll just go for the Leaf Blades here to try and get the final shield and or take out this Dust Noir. It is a non-shadow, has a little bit more bulk than its Shadow brethren, but the opponent goes ahead and lets that go, and at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to shield up here. The opponent is still healthy enough that a farm down with Diggersby would be very uncomfortable, and I'm going to come in with my Diggersby here and look to catch the move. I'm hoping that I caught the Power Gem / Rock Slide, but it was the Moonblast, and the opponent's going to be able to get a lot of damage in. But to me, this is fine because I am just going to be able to go for the Scorching Sands. The opponent's kind of in an unwinnable situation here because we have Diggersby to core break their team, but we also have Tropius to be able to do enough pressure in this matchup. And Diggersby is really the star of the show in this game. It just core breaks the team. This is great. I love Diggersby as a lead right now. It's just so strong. Because everybody expects it to be in the back, right? But Toxapec's on the lead. We get the Diggersby on it, and we need to keep switch advantage. But one thing that I get to keep in mind here is that energy on Togetic is going to be helpful. Opponent safe swaps into a low kicks, and we are going to destroy them with Togetic. We're going to dash their hopes and dreams. Low Kicks is a really cool Pokemon, but we're just going to go ahead and load up a bunch of energy, go for the Gleam. I thought about no bubbling this completely, and then I was like, I should probably put a Nice on it just in case, but that isn't going to get me any farm. It does way too much damage. So now I can go into Togetic here, or go for the Psyshock with Togetic. And here's something really cool, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to see it at least a couple of times in this video. This thing actually could win the 1 shield scenario if the opponent overfarms, which most of them do, and you excuse me, and you get a couple of Fairy Winds head start. Now, the opponent swaps straight into their Cacturn here, and Tropius is there to say hello, and that's going to be just a game well played. There you go. Hard countered that opponent to smithereens. I'm sorry, it happens. Grumpig in the lead, very uncomfortable. Don't really have an amazing response here. I'm going to go ahead and stay in and look to swap on 6, maybe try to catch that dynamic punch, but unfortunately the opponent holds onto their energy, and now I'm going to end up taking a Shadow Ball to the face, which is a lot less comfortable, but I made the mistake. I'll live with it. Opponent is staying in. They might not have an answer in the back to Togetic, or they have another answer in the back to Diggersby. Both of them are completely possible here, but the opponent does not shield, and they take that energy, and now I see an opportunity here. I'm thinking that I'm going to err on the side of opponent is staying in because they don't have an answer, or I should say, they do have one answer in the back to Diggersby. So I'm going to try to win this matchup here, and the opponent has a Primeape in the back. So it's very good that I made that read and ended up trying to win that matchup. Now, if I had to put both my shields down, I think I could have Fairy Winded down before they could have Psy-Socked me down, but hard to say. It was a very, very close little matchup there, but I'm just happy enough to be able to line this up against my Tropius now, and most Primeapes aren't going to be running Ice Punch, and I think at this point, I'm happy enough to just let these moves go, and if you have Ice Punch, then congratulations, you probably just win the game, but this trainer does not. They're going to go for another Rage Fist right away here, or a Close Combat, could be either one. It is the Close Combat. That's the one where they went to Close Combat, and they have Pangoro in the back. And my goodness, this is a very, very risky game. Now, me going ahead and not shielding that Close Combat might be a problem here. Opponent's going to be able to get to a Night Slash. I'm in trouble. I need to be able to live these Karate Chops and get to the Aerial Ace. Thankfully, the opponent doesn't boost. If they did, it was over. I was done. That little that Night Slash boost ends the game right there. We take him out with Aerial Ace. We have full HP on the Diggersby in case they do get to a move, but we had energy from before, and Fire Punch is going to be enough to take out the Primeape, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to the opponent. And in this first set, we actually take home a 4-1 to start off, and we're going to get into the next set right now. Diggersby on the lead against Chestnut. Nightmare, but we have two better answers in the back. So we'll swap straight to Togetic and see what the opponent brings in, and they bring in a Typhlosion. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw 7 more Psy-Shocks after the swap, because that's when our timers are back, or our turns are back in sync. I'll go for the Psy-Shock. Opponent shields. They throw right away here, which either way is very awkward for them, but they full send the Blast Burn instead of going for Thunder Punch, and I'm okay with this because it means they've used more energy, requires them to get to 2 more Incinerates to get to the next move. They let this go, but Psy-Shock is going to be able to get off here before they can get to another charge move, which is fantastic for me, and it puts me in the driver's seat of this matchup, trying to be able to win switch. Now, because they threw that Blast Burn, I know that they still need at least 1 more Incinerate to get to another Thunder Punch, and so I will be able to reach it, but the opponent goes ahead and swaps in their Furt, and at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and sacrifice my Diggersby to this Furt. I know this is not a winning matchup because of Trailblaze, but my Togetic has a Psy-Shock loaded for later in case I need it, and Tropius will absolutely destroy that Chestnut in the lead. So I have basically got my alignment where I need it right now, and I'm going to try and maintain it that way. Tropius can come in at this point if it needs to, or I can try and bring in my Togetic for a quick Psy-Shock. We'll see what call we make here, because it could go either way. Tropius is going to be the thing that comes in here, and then I'm going to actually look to go for the Leaf Blade, the opponent deciding not to throw the energy for some reason. Maybe it's because they wanted to prioritize timing, but unfortunately for them, that means they don't get the Swift in, which now means Chestnut's going to get obliterated by these Air Slashes, and if I can get to the Aerial Ace, I'm going to be solid here. Now, another thing that I can do here is I can absolutely come in with my Togetic at some point and throw the Psy-Shock. The opponent swaps in to the Typhlosion. I don't want to take any chances, and I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade to get the knockout, and then we can come in with the Psy-Shock and be able to deal enough damage to almost knock out the Chestnut. After we do a couple of Fairy Winds, we're going to be good. Good game, but well played. Next up, Diggersby on the lead against Thievul. This thing is, I've seen this once before, so I'm familiar with the moveset. It's got Play Rough, it's got Night Slash, and so I have a pretty decent matchup in the back with Togetic, as we do very well. So I'm going to safe swap in, force them to swap out, or make them throw, and this is what I'm talking about right here. This, we pull out the Toxapex. Togetic has gone every time it has successfully pulled out the opponent's hardest counter to Tropius, and we're going to continue that trend. And that's why this team works so well, because Togetic on the safe switch in bad leads, it actually forces the opponent to answer with a response to Togetic. And if they have one, it's probably an answer to Tropius, and it's also weak to Diggersby. Diggersby being in the lead is going to pressure the opponent to want to bring in their thing that doesn't want to see the Diggersby, which is fine, because that's also the thing that doesn't want to see Tropius. Now this right here, opponent tries to overfarm. They see MP after throwing the Sludge Wave. We actually get both Shield or Switch here. The opponent decides to give me Switch, and they have a Grumpig, and now I'm like, okay, this is not good. So now I have to navigate a Thievul and a Grumpig. Very, very neutral matchups here, but I'm going to see what I can make happen. Diggersby does have a good amount of bulk to be able to handle things, and a Shadow Ball does do quite a bit here, but not enough to make me worried. We're going to be going for 3, and then the Leaf Blade, looking to try and get to a move right before they can, and then I might actually, I'm going to try to catch the Shadow Ball on my Diggersby, but the opponent makes a move first here and immediately switches into the Thievul, and I'm going to go ahead and let the Play Rough go through, and it's fine. I was thinking that might have been the Night Slash, and I'm like, okay, well, if it is, then I can live it. But now I have a call to make. How much is this Play Rough going to do? Is it enough? I'm going to let it go. It's not enough. Now we're going to be able to get to 2 Fire Punches here, and 1 Fire Punch might not be enough to knock out here, but I know that they have some energy, I believe. But now we're going to be able to keep that shield, go for the quick attack, farm down because they didn't shield, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to the opponent. Next game, Diggersby is going to see Tinkaton on the lead, and the target is here. We love seeing Tinkaton on the lead. Opponent's going to swap into a Furret. We're going to do the same thing as last time because that's what worked. We're going to go for the Scorching Sands, bring in Togetic to guarantee we win switch advantage, because I absolutely cannot, under any circumstances, let my Tropius be matched up against that Tinkaton. So Trailblaze, not going to do anything. Opponent throwing right away there, unfortunately for them. I can load up on energy here. I can take another Swift, and I can go for about 4 more Psyshocks before, 4 more Psyshocks. 4 more Fairy Winds, and then throw the Psyshock before they get to that next Swift, and then I have a bunch of energy to try and leverage into the Tinkaton, and their energy isn't going to do too much into Diggersby. It is going to do, you know, neutral damage. Play Rough would do quite a bit. However, it's not going to be enough to really threaten me, and I can go ahead and get this chip damage in, and I'm very happy to just let this Togetic go after throwing this next charge move. This basically puts them into Fire Punch range instead of having to throw the Scorching Sands, which is really nice. Not quite, but getting close. We come back in with Diggersby. Opponent's going to throw the energy. I'm going to let it go. Chungus has the bulkiest. It's so bulky, dude. This Chungus is so bulky. Opponent now brings in the Cacturn, and we see, I don't know where they're coming from, but we see another one, and we're going to KO it. We're going to get rid of it with Tropius. That's a good game well played. Now, we're 3-0 in this set. Downfall begins. Dragonite lead. Yeah, this is bad. This sucks. I don't know what to do with this. We just go into Togetic. Opponent brings in the Toxapex immediately, and I'm in shambles. I'm truly in shambles. I mean, genuinely, like, Dragonite is good at, like, I basically needed a chance. Like, of course they're going to have an answer to Togetic in the back. That just makes sense. It's a Dragonite. But I need whatever's in the back to be super weak to Tropius and be able to do enough here in order to try to get rid of that Dragonite. I need something to do enough to get rid of the Dragonite. And I'm hoping that maybe I can use Tropius to sweep, but I have to spend a shield here. But I'm able to get to 2 Psyshocks, and now this is either going to flip switch, which really isn't amazing, but either that or I'm getting both shields. And I think in this case, both shields is the play, because a Aerial Ace from my Tropius will do quite a bit of damage, and I'm happy enough with that. Now, opponent is going to stay in here and throw this move. I don't know if they're going to swap, because some trainers will just swap. They'll spend 2 shields, get switch advantage, and then just swap. And in this case, it'll work for them, and that's what they do. Tropius comes in, and you know, I'm pretty sure that they didn't have a whole ton of energy, because I swapped Togetic out pretty quick. But apparently, they have enough to get to another Dragon Claw in what was essentially 6 Air Slashes. So I either miscounted egregiously, I don't know, but Aerial Ace will be enough to knock out here. However, they still have Toxapex in the back, and I don't have the HP in order to deal with that. Now, if I had thrown one sooner, probably would have been okay. Would have taken some Poison Jab damage, but I could have dealt with this Quagsire that's in the back, and I could have... Ooh, man. I'm just mad at myself for not getting that farm. So I probably would have been okay in this game if I hadn't let myself lose track of the opponent's energy like I did. So that's on me. I will take fault for that one, but good game to the opponent here. Well played. Trying to get some redemption here in the final game. Diggersby on the lead versus Primeape. This is going to be an immediate safe switch into Togetic and look to see what the opponent does next. They're going to go ahead and they're going to stay in. And they're staying in against my... Okay, well, they want to stay in and shield up a Psyshock, apparently. Unless the opponent's running Ice Punch and wants to get a move in. But they catch on Diggersby, which is a very nice catch. Now... after this, I'm going to just continue to go for moves here. Going to look to go for Dazzling Gleam. Opponent can only really ever go for Fire Punch here. So while the bulk is in their favor, Togetic definitely can hit back hard. And I'm looking to try to get switch here. I need Tropius to be against that opponent's Primeape. And so I can let this next Fire Punch go. And I can honestly let another... I don't want to let another one go. I'm getting close to being down within that range. And now with those quick attacks, I am going to go for the Dazzling Gleam here and look to try and flip switch or get shields from the opponent. They go ahead and let the Diggersby go, and then they're going to come back in with Primeape, and they get to a move before I do, unfortunately. Tropius is in the back, looking to get itself locked in on this Primeape, and hopefully whatever's in the back is weak to Diggersby, and we're going to be going for these Air Slashes. Opponent is once boosted. I don't need to shield up this Rage Fist here, and if they throw another one, I'll consider shielding it, but we're getting a nice farm here. Opponent has 2 shields, something in the back. We are going to go ahead and shield up this move here, and then the opponent brings in Greninja, and I'm sitting here like they are triple weak to Tropius. There's surely no way we lose this game. But watch, we'll find a way. Leaf Blade gets the shield. Opponent can go for a move here. I know that I can live the first move, and I would rather let this one go and then not have to end up taking a boosted Night Slash afterwards. But we're going to go ahead and go for the next Leaf Blade here. And I make a critical error here and misjudge my switch timer and the opponent's switch timer and say, there's no way that their switch timer's up yet, surely. But no, it is. Watch, it is. They make a really, this is a game-winning catch. This is very good for them. Magnificently done by my opponent. That was fantastic. Now I'm going to try to make a catch of my own onto Diggersby, and it doesn't matter because they have enough energy for 2 Hydro Cannons, and because of Greninja's ability to get energy so quickly with those Water Shurikens, I am pretty much done here. I have no way out, and they're going to go for the charge move here and knock me out, and then I'm not going to be close enough to the Leaf Blade, so I lose this game to myself, but the opponent made a very, very great play to be able to snatch it from me, and they deserve it absolutely. So that's going to do it for these games. But you know what? We'll take a 7-3, and just these 2 sets were the only ones I had time for today. But I will take these results and say, you know what? Tropius is going to be absolutely amazing in this meta, at least right now, until people start catching on to its existence. But for right now, I think it's great, and I hope that y'all are able to climb with some team like this, because Tropius is just dominant, and I hope you have one, because if you I don't have any good replacements for it. Like I said, Emolga's the best I got. Tropius was available globally in a Go Fest like 2 or 3 years ago and hasn't really been around since then, so maybe you got lucky and got one from a trade. I don't know, but let me know in the comments what you think about this team, and if you guys have been enjoying the Great League Remix so far. I think it looks like an interesting meta. Saw a lot of diverse teams. It was really cool. Let me know in the comments what you think. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.